Everyone, and welcome back. This is Jay Taff with your weekly sports podcast, Not Just a Game. We've been kind of hitting up everything and anything that's been going on during this pandemic era that we're in right now. And right now we're trying to put a wrap on this fall season, which has been interesting, is one of the words we can use. But to do that, we've got a great group here. It's a big group from the Winnebago cross country team. And we have head coaches Joe and Janet Erb, and we have runners Katie, Grace Erb, and Kayle Woolery. And these folks have been in quarantine since before regionals, which was last Saturday. And the plan is for them to get out of quarantine just before sectionals come in this Saturday. So they've been going through a lot, and I'm just dying to talk to them, and I think it's going to be an interesting little chat here. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We look like the Brady Bunch, if anybody remembers that, with all the little squares around. But I'm going to hit all of you up and kind of ask you all a little bit of questions about what's been going on, and we really want to know what you guys have been going through. So thank you all for joining us. Joe Erb, we'll start with you. You and Janet have been the head coaches there across country and track and field, 17 years. You've reeled in a couple of state championships. I'm not just bringing on any cross country. We're bringing on the Power Pack Winnebago cross country team. Give us a quick take on, walk us through even a little bit of last year. Last year was so exciting for you, and I know it was leading into what was looking like a great and exciting year this year as well. Backtrack a little bit, tell us a little bit about this team, and give us a brief little history.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit more than last year. We knew from the time they were in middle school this was a really special group coming up, and we really with our middle school coach, who's also a high school assistant, to make sure that we weren't doing too much too young, and really letting them develop naturally, because we really saw what we had. I would say diamond in the rough, but it was a diamond you could see, but I don't think people could see how big it really was unless you've done this for a while. And you really could feel it building last year until they, state meet rolled around and they left their mark with the fastest top 5 runners, fastest overall time in small school state history. We were one of the better programs in the entire state, regardless of class. We had everybody coming back and really looking to just continue to build and improve. It's a group of kids that not only are talented, they're good students, they have great families with great family support, and they really try to improve each day. And so when you finish the state meet last year, you're already thinking about what next year is going to be like, and people are getting to work, and you're excited what you're seeing in February. And March came and it kind of ground us to a halt a little bit. And really, their story, they're looking to leave a mark historically, and they did last year, and they're looking to build on it this year. And I don't know that I don't know how history is going to record this year. I don't. I know it won't be recorded at Detweiler with the state meet, but they've certainly left their mark in how they've continued to attack things through adverse situations. And we're really proud of these kids.
A lot of adverse situations. Janet, give us an idea of how crazy this season has been for you guys, and not even the past 9 days or whatever. I mean, even up until that point, it was just different, and we knew there wasn't going to be that state meet. What was it like? Was it tough keeping them motivated and keeping them going? And I know you have a special group here, so maybe
I'm going to go all the way from March when we went into quarantine, and really we've missed a track season, but it was so full of highs and lows. Our kids really trained really well in hopes for going back to school and hopes for a state meet and all of that kind of stuff in track. And even without that, even when they found out there wasn't going to be a state meet for track, they took a couple weeks off to start preparing for cross, and they jumped right back in. And the hard part, not together. It's been such a weird year when training in March and April and May and June were very hit or miss with who you got to train with. Then we got to start training together in small groups, which was really nice. I think they really enjoyed starting to see each other a lot more, training together. And they've really done a great job of lifting each other up for the circumstances that they know are here. They don't have a real true season as a norm. But they've done a really good job of working together, lifting each other up, no complaining about what they're not getting, and only looking towards what they do get to do.
Well, you have to be a good self-motivator these days, don't you? It's just kind of the times that we're in. Katie, you're the senior. I want to pop over to you first, the elder statesman over there. Um, give me your take on how this team was built. What was it like as this team was kind of being groomed? And then here you are this season. I know it's been a weird season, and you're getting your temperatures taken and wearing masks and all this. But I don't think that hid the talent that was on this team this season, did it?
No, because like we all, even though we got our temperatures taken, we were still allowed to like run in groups still together. So we could still like build off of each other and run faster paces with each other. And then we were still allowed to do workouts together because we were in smaller groups because our team isn't as big as some schools.
As the senior and as obviously one of the leaders, I know this team has a bunch of leaders on it. It's probably just a team, all leaders out there. You guys could lead on any team. But as one of the leaders, what is this group like? Give us a little take on what this team is made of. What's the mindset? What's the mental makeup of this team? Because boy, when you guys get out on the course and start to run, you guys are like machines. What do you got? What's the mental makeup of this team?
I think we're kind of just like family almost. Like we all like work together to accomplish a goal, and we're always there for each other if we need to.
Yeah, it's been that way for quite some time with this whole group, right? Kayle, let me go over to you, Kayle Woolery. What this kind of season is nobody can plan for this. Has this thrown you off your game at all, or you individually, or how have you been able to work yourself back into it and just keep yourself focused?
Well, I think we, as a team, everyone is just focusing on running the best that they can be and just proving that no matter who's at the line that we're gonna show up completely. No matter who's there or how many teams are there, we're always gonna run as best as we can.
I think you come out of the old quarantine tomorrow, a day before the rest of the Erb family does. Give me an idea of what it's been like these past few days and leading up to when you found out you were going to have to miss regionals. I'm assuming all of you guys, your hearts probably dropped out of your chest, and then you have to watch the rest of your team get you through regionals and into sectionals so you can keep your season alive. What's it been like, Kayle, these last 9 days or whatever?
Well, I think obviously like school work is much different, and just like running by yourself, that's a whole nother like animal where you have to just, I'm gonna go, I have to go do this. But for regionals, I was obviously really sad that I was not gonna be able to run. But I was never worried that like, oh no, what if we can't go to sectionals now? Like, no matter who would be running, I have complete faith in my team.
That's incredible, and that's just the way it is. And sure enough, that's how it worked out. This team powered through regionals, even without 3 of its studs. Grace, how hard was it to watch that? I think Joe told me you guys got to literally watch a live stream through Facebook of regionals last week. What was that like, sitting on the couch in the living room or whatever and watching when you know you're supposed to be there? Whoop, can't hear you, Grace. Are you there? Can you guys hear Grace?
I cannot, no.
Oh, bummer. I don't think maybe try yelling. Are you mute? Let me try and mute. I muted you, and then now I'm asking to unmute. Try and unmute yours, Grace. Do you see anywhere to unmute?
Yeah, I think it worked.
Hey!
My internet was unstable and stuff, so.
We got her.
That was weird. That's
What
all
was
right.
the question again?
That's what we're dealing with in 2020. I can't even remember the question. Do you remember the question, Grace?
It was something about watching running.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What was it like watching your stinking regionals on Facebook live stream from the couch last weekend?
I thought it was exciting to watch them run. Even though I couldn't be there, I would much rather be on the course, getting to cheer and give, like, I always think it helps me when I'm running. My teammates are cheering for me. So I really wish that I could have been there to do that. But I thought it was exciting to at least get to watch the races. I was calling one of my coaches and asking after every race how they did and stuff. So I tried to stay as updated as I could, but it was definitely different than actually being on the course and watching them.
Real different. Speaking of different, so Joe, give me a quick little explanation on what you did here over the past week and a half or whatever, with splitting up the family a little bit, just in case. Give us an idea what that's all about.
It was a tough decision, really, and it was one we had to make pretty quickly. Is if someone starts showing symptoms, anybody that's been around the previous 48 hours needs to go into quarantine. So even if we were in quarantine together already, if somebody starts showing symptoms, your quarantine starts over and you've got another 14 days. And knowing we were right up against the time limit, as it was, we sent Katie, who, by the way, she's a junior. Don't graduate her from me too soon.
Oh, geez, junior. Good. I'm glad you.
Junior. We had her move in with my sister so that if she started showing symptoms, Grace wouldn't have to start her quarantine over. And if Grace started showing symptoms, Katie wouldn't have to start her quarantine over. And so it's when you're used to being together all the time, and we're together probably more than the girls want to, or my mom matter, being that mom and dad coach, and you do the same sports, you live in the same house. Janet and I really try and give them some of their own space and some of their own time because of it. But you're used to being around a lot, and then all of a sudden to, only be talking to Katie on the phone, a few times a day, which I'm sure that was probably a few times more than she really wanted to talk to her dad. But it was certainly different. And I think it was hard on her without a doubt, as it is on Grace and Kaylee being in quarantine. But something I just can't stress enough is, a lot of people from the outside, they're going to look at cross country and they're going to say, it's an individual sport. You can become an individual state champion, you can be an individual qualifier. But you're here right now with 3 individual all-state athletes that without a team don't run at sectionals because they would have been in quarantine. You're with kids that, while in quarantine, got phone calls, messages, treats from teammates to make sure that they knew, hey, there's somebody here that cares about you. We haven't forgotten you. And, I got messages from kids that said, hey, coach, don't worry. We're going to take care of things at regional. I wasn't worried, but it was really reassuring enough that they're contacting me to say, hey, we'll take care of this. We got parents of athletes that have reached out to us. Do you need anything? And so while it has been tough, and certainly every family's facing tough choices at this time, whether they're in quarantine or not. What are we going to let our families do? What are we not going to? When we did get into that situation, to know that we have the kind of cross-country culture, the character on our team, and the athletes have the character that they're raised with, that they're really so supportive, that it just shows it is not an individual sport. While it's a sport where you can have individual success. You're hearing Kaylee talk about what was different. She said, training on my own and having to go do it by myself. Man, is it way easier knowing I'm meeting up with my friends to go for a run versus I've got to go out there and do it on my own. And so, really, we're in an odd situation where we split the girls, but their team made it so much easier, so much easier.
You really see the characters of people during times like this. I mean, people have always said that. At times is when you find out what people are really like and who's really inside there. And you've you've talked to me constantly about this team that you have and just how different it is and how it's just a big family, not just your two daughters and your wife here.
Jay, I got to tell you, one of the neatest parts for Janet and I in this is, yeah, we coach our daughters special, and you thought about that when they were born and things like that, but to coach their best friends, Kaylee's my neighbor. I can look out my window right here and I see her house. You know, and the kids on the team, I watched them all grow up. You know, they've been in classes with my daughters and friends of my daughters and in and out of our house for this whole time. And, you know, really, it's special when you get a chance to see the character of kids come out. I've always been fond of the expression that adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. And you don't know what your character is until you face some tough times. And on the other side of it is success and strength. And these kids, I mean, they have not really complained about much that they've missed out on. They rarely even bring it up. Instead, they just celebrate what they have. And they're special. They're special kids.
Cool. Well, that's why I wanted to have you guys on. And I know you wanted me to have the whole team on. Then we would have been these itty bitty little squares. Janet, and after you, I want to hit each of the girls and kind of just find out what their goals are for this Saturday and what Saturday kind of is going to mean to each of them. But Janet, give me your take on how, you know, it's sectionals, and sectionals used to kind of be the precursor, the get yourself to state kind of meet. It's different this year. Are you coaching it differently? Do they need to have a different mindset going into it this year?
Normally, if we were having a sectional meet and then a state meet, we talk about mentally backing off, not going to the wow because you've got a meet after that you want to the next week run well. And usually we don't have to push our limits to make it to state. Because we do plan on running in the race the following week, which is like an unofficial state meet, we're treating it very similar to a regular sectional. We want to go and we want to run the very best we can, but we haven't really stressed anything about what's after it. We're just taking it meet by meet right now.
Real quick, get up what that is the following weekend again. I should have put that in, talked about that more.
There's a racing time company in Southern Illinois, Shazam, that is putting on a race that they're inviting the top 20 teams for each class. Each class is on a different day. Class A happens to be on a Friday. In fact, they're not even calling it Class A. I believe it's called Division 1. Okay. But they're inviting all the top teams. You have to register. I think actually tomorrow might be the last deadline for registering your team. And then they're sending out invites to the teams that they're inviting, and they are inviting individuals also.
Where's that run going to be?
It's in Chillicothe, Three Sisters Park. It's just north of Detweiler Park where state normally is.
Music fans know that as summer camp. That's really cool. So I kept forgetting. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a taste of a state meet. It's going to give them a chance to finish strong and get to see where they stack up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, I want to hit all three of you girls up now, and I want to hear what your mindset is going into this weekend. What is your goals, and kind of, you know, what you're looking to get out of this high school or IHSA finale for the season. Let's start with junior Katie. Sorry about that, Katie. I know you're not quite a senior. All right. Katie, what do you want to get out of this weekend? What's your goals, and how hyped up are you?
I just really want to do good at this meet, and I hope that I want our team to do really good and win. And so I just want to stick with it with Kaylee as much as I can during the race, so then I can have a better success for that race.
Good. Kaylee, do you have a different kind of race strategy this weekend? I don't know, when you've been out for a little while, it's probably hard to keep yourself calm and keep it at the right pace. You want to just charge on out there. Is it a little different feel going into this one?
Well, for me, not really. I always have the mentality, and so does the entire team to stay comfortable through the first mile, and then Mr. Erb says it's a 2-mile race from there. So that's what I'll be thinking throughout the race, and that's my like race strategy throughout my cross country time. Like the time I've run, I've always had like kind of relaxed and then hunt. Yeah.
That should be on your Winnebago cross country t-shirts. Relax and hunt. You got a bunch of hunters, man. You guys are like laser vision when you start pulling people in. Grace, what's success for you this weekend? What do you need to do to have a smile on your face when you're done?
I would say I don't know how the course runs. So I'm not really sure if this is at all like achievable, but I always like to break 18 minutes, and I'd like to feel like relaxed through at least a mile and then go from there, and 2-mile race like Kaylee said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. Joe, all 5 of you guys, thank you so much for coming on. This was really cool. I told you 20 minutes would fly by. We could do an hour and 20 minutes with this group. And maybe we will after you guys go and dominate sectionals. Joe, finish off. Last question. What do you want to see as a coach? If you guys get to Saturday, everybody's healthy, you've got your full team. Again, I know it's sectionals and we're not stacking up to, to slam the door with a state. There is another meet the next week. So how do you go about this Saturday? And also, how excited are you for this Saturday?
Well, I'm excited for sectionals. I'm always excited for meet day. We really celebrate it. Every day that it's meet day, that kind of is how the day starts at our house. I just announced it's meet day, and we've always been excited for it. But certainly, having been in the house for pushing 2 weeks, we're going to be really excited about being out and competing again. But really, just being together as a team is going to be great. I'm very cognizant of the fact that this is their last IHSA meet, their last meet with Janet and I. After that, they technically go club, but that they have bigger goals that are beyond us, and that's great. And I fully support that. I'm excited for them to have that opportunity. So Saturday for me is we go and we compete well. And I always have told the kids, you can hear them kind of repeating, if you can be relaxed through the first mile, you turned it into a 2-mile race. Everybody else is racing 3 and you're racing 2. And I really think that your definition of success depends on the group, depends on that team. But if they can walk out there and feel like I raced hard, but I've got more on me for next week, and I know that I'm ready for next Friday when they go Shazam, because I know that they have additional goals beyond Saturday's sectional race. We get through it healthy and happy, and we're together. We celebrate the work we've put in. And compete as hard as we can. I'm going to be really happy with it. And they're going to be successful. I always tell the kids, win, lose, or draw. Winnebago's tradition is that we prepare the right way, we step on the line, and we'll compete against anybody, and we're not afraid to lose. And more times than not, if you go out and prepare right, and you go into it with that attitude fearlessly, as Kaylee said, hunters, you're going to be successful. And this group of kids, like I said, yeah, absolutely, their talent levels. It's the most talented team I've ever worked with. But their work ethic is as talented. They're as good. Their talent level and work is as good as any team I've worked with, and their character is as good as any team I've ever worked with. So when you start putting together talent, a work ethic, and character all together in one place, that's going to be, to me, their legacy. And really, that top 7 group has 1 senior. But beyond our top 7, our seniors this year, when they came in, they said, you know what, we're going to make sure the culture of our program is right. And they've done that. And so it's not just that 1 senior that is really good. She's a 4-time regional champ in Natalia Martino. She's really good. But our other seniors have worked really hard and developed a great culture for the entire team. So yeah, success is going to be celebrating not just the work of this season, but of years of hard work for all these kids.
Such an impressive group, not just this little group here, but the entire Winnebago cross country program and team. You guys have been a ball to cover, except maybe these last 8 or 9 days. This hasn't been as much fun to cover. But I think Saturday will be, and I really appreciate you doing this. This is great. People are going to want to hear this and hear how you guys are getting through all this. Very interesting story, inspirational stuff. I appreciate you talking to me. I appreciate you letting me cover you for so long. And we're not done. I know we've got a junior and 2 sophomores there on the bottom row there. So we're going to be doing this for a couple more years. I know that. And hopefully, I would assume the next few years will be a little different than this year. Let's just get through this year, right? Everybody, thank you. If we all started yelling, it'd probably, so maybe wave. Everybody wave. Thank you so much for coming on. Good luck Saturday. I'll be there. I'll be watching you, and let's regroup and do this again soon, okay?
Thanks for having us, Jay.
Thanks all.
Thank you.